So this is going to be a top 5 red type units of, my choice, my opinion. If you guys have any kind of opinions in the comments below, let me know. Of course, if you guys have different, specific units as well, just let me know what you guys would rank in top 5, and I will actually look at them and see how they go for me as well. But this is all for my opinion. If you guys don't like it or anything like that, just let me know in the comments below. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think as well. And hopefully you guys do enjoy today's video. But let's get into the actual video. Yo, what's up guys, it's Skills. In today's video guys, we're back with another Grand Cross video. As you can see in the title and the thumbnail, we're going to be basically putting the top 5 red units or strength units in this game. So this is currently global based. JP of course would be different, but for what global is, I want to talk about the top 5 units that are red units that you should be working on. So there are a couple other red units that I do want to give a honorable mention later on in the video. Before this one is mainly the top 5 that you should be working on, because they're just that great. Now the first one we're going to talk about, because since this unit has just came out and it is the best unit in the game, it deserves the spot for the red units, Gowther. So as you can tell, Gowther, of course, if you guys didn't pull him, hopefully you guys want to summon for him again. If not, just wait until he's in the coin shop. This unit is going to be a very disgusting unit. The reason why is because he's the only unit in the game that can rank up other characters' skills. So as you can get a character's skills, 2-star and 3-star, you're going to be pretty much honestly indestructible at that point, because this unit is super helpful for that. If you're ranking up other cards that would do a lot of damage, then you're going to pretty much, be done with it. You'll pretty much be good in PvP, you'll be good in the raids, and so on. So this is a very big thing about his card itself. And then the other one, of course, is Arrow Shot, is very useful because he disables attack skills. So if you're about to attack, if you're about to get attacked, if you use this card, his 2-star or 3-star, you're going to basically disable attack skills on the enemy. Now, it can be purified by King, so if you do, let's just say you do use it, King can petrify, the blue King, or not petrify, purify, so you have to be careful on how you use this, and if you're fighting a King, just be careful on how you go against him. So, this unit itself, though, he can disable attack skills, and he can also rank up cards, which is really big, as well as his ultimate can take away ultimate gauge orbs, right? So it can do 3 for just himself, and then 5 when he has King as his, combo partner. So basically, this unit is going to be the best for that reason, mainly because of the rank up. That's like the best card in the whole game. So that's personally my opinion. Then of course his unique passive is going to increase all allies attack by 10% at the start of the next turn. As long as he doesn't take damage, you can stack it up. I believe it's stacking up to 10 times, I believe. It should be 10. But then yeah, that's still pretty crazy. Like, this is why this unit is just crazy. Super good. You want to make his gear set as HP and defense just because he is a support unit, nothing more than that. So he is well, he's not top 5, like I wouldn't say he's like number 5, I would say he's number 1. But I'm just talking about like these units in general, not like where they rank in specific spots. So Gowther is the number 1 for sure in the game regardless. So we're going to talk about him. We talked about him for that reason. Arthur. So Arthur, the reason why I bring him up is because of his second skill card, which is going to be a really good boost for buffs, because when you do his 2-star and 3-star card, right, for the Royal Sword, this increases the basic stats of all allies. So that's attack, defense, and HP stats for 2 turns on 2-star, and 30% for the 3-star, right, for 3 turns. That's very helpful. Now the good thing about it, for his 3-star, he removes debuffs from all allies, right, and it grants debuff immunity for 3 turns. So you can't be petrified, you can't be this and that, like you can't do anything when this Royal Sword is up. Like, that's how great it is. So when it comes to that, you are going to be pretty much set in stone with this unit. Now, when you use the Royal Sword, it's very helpful for other units, just because, Gowther, for example, when you have Gowther on the field, right? Let's just say you're in PvP currently right now, and you're fighting a Galland. When you rank up, right, this rank up is going to, petrify you because of Galland's commandment. So how Arthur works is that if you have a 3-star card, right, from him, that's going to grant the debuff immunity, meaning that you're going to be able to rank up cards without getting petrified by Galland's commandment, which is going to be very helpful. So he's really good when it comes to that. I think he's just good because of the boost anyway. That's 30% boost, which is really good. So then his first attack, of course, is going to also disable recovery skills, and that's actually really good, because if you're going to be fighting someone who can heal a lot, this actually is going to be disabling that, so really good to know. He's basically going to take away King pretty well, so just know that. And he does some pretty good damage, so that's why he's really good for red units. And then his ultimate, he actually does a lot of damage from his ultimate. If you can actually get him to 6/6, he's going to be even doing more damage than that. So he inflicts Sever, which is a 2x crit chance increase, and just does insane damage. So for attack wise, very, very good. His unique passive increases HP related stats of human allies by 15%. So if you have a human ally on your team, that boost is going to be given to the only human. So like Bond is a human. I think Howzer's Howzer's a human, so you get boost HP related boost for that. Very, very good card because of that reason. Now, we're going to talk about Howzer. Because Howzer is, well, let me say Arthur's is attack and defense for his gear. I forgot to say that. Make him attack and defense for sure. Now, Howzer. Howzer is going to be a attack all unit for a red type unit, right? I don't know if there's any other unit that is actually attack all completely. I don't remember exactly, but I think Weinhardt does attack all for everything for all his cards. But anyways, for attack all, Rising Storm, you know, it does a lot of damage from this, and his Pierce. So the Pierce is a 3x Pierce rate increase. So the more Pierce rating you do, the more damage you'll be doing because it's just breaking through their defense. So a red type unit with Howzer, and it's a farming unit, very, very helpful. So when you have this, right, he does that for his first skill, and then his second skill is going to do an attack all as well. So which is why he's really good, because attacking everyone compared to just attacking one person, that's pretty big. So inflicts Sever. So Sever is a 2x crit chance increase, right? So if you're building this unit, right, and you have his attack and defense gear sets, right, you basically want to make sure that you can crit a lot, and if you can crit a lot, you know, that's gonna be really good. So his percentages would be like crit damage is 130%, right? So he mainly will crit more if you have, of course, some crits on him. But if you want to just build him as attack and defense so you can just keep him as a farming unit, then you shouldn't have an issue with that. So it depends on how you want to go about it. I personally would probably just do attack and defense because I don't want to waste on you know, all that gear set. But for this unit, you do want to have SSR gear sets to make him like actually worth it. So just make sure that you understand that. But I mean, as a unit like this, he's good because he's really good at farming, right? But he's also good because he can actually attack everyone. So that's just insane. Now, his ultimate, very, very helpful. The reason why is because he can decrease skill ranks, right? So he can take away 3-star to 2-star and 2-star to 1-star, right? So he can be actually really good against Gowther, because if they have a 2-star rank up, right, you can knock it back down to 1-star, and that's going to be very helpful. So then the enemy can't rank up all those cards that they would have. So just keep that in mind. If you have Howzer on your team, Howzer can be pretty good at countering things like that. As well as taking away ultimate gauge orbs, which is even better, because if they're about to ult you, you can take away ultimate gauge orbs by the number of skills rank decrease. So if you take away 2 skill ranks, right, you're going to take away 2 ultimate gauge orbs. Can be very, very helpful. So good to know that, right? That's why he's very good for farming. He can be really good for PvP as well. He's actually really good at PvP. So it's good to know. And then, of course, when he has it with Guild Thunder, he's going to do more damage with the same stuff for him. So his passive, like we said, increases. I don't think we talked about him. I think that was Arthur. Yeah. Howzer, he increases human allies' basic stats by 8%, which should be attack, defense, and HP. So he gives the boost to, like Bond, for example, right? Gives that boost because Bond is a human, gonna give that allies basic stats by 8%. Very helpful as well. So he's really good. This unit would be very good even for, mainly it's farming, right? But you can use him for PvP. He's very, very crucial when it comes to PvP when you're running a full red team, just because he is just that strong, and then he's going to take away ultimate gauges and decrease skill ranks. Very, very good unit to know about that. So he is going to be ranked in the top 5s for best red units currently in global. And of course, we have the next one. I want to talk about Merlin. So Merlin, she is still going to be put here because of the reason is she has a freeze, right? The freeze mechanic in this game is very good because if you use a 2-star or 3-star card for it, it allows you to do more damage for whoever attacks after the freeze has happened. So let's just say you do a 2-star or 3-star freeze, right? If you do the freeze, you're going to do an additional 80% or 200% damage on a frozen target for 1 to 2 turns, right? So if you have, let's just say, Green Jericho. Green Jericho is a nuking unit. A way you can do that is if you have this frozen factor, right? So if you use this freeze, 3-star or 2-star, whichever one you feel is just easier for you, do a 3-star if you can, and then attack with Jericho, you're gonna do like almost a million in damage if you have really good, you know, gear on her. But for this, I mean, it's just the main thing about this red Merlin, her freeze. Now, don't knock her until you try her, because the other thing is the freezing is very good, but her first skill attack can be helpful as well, because she also disables recovery skills. Same thing Arthur does. Disables the recovery skills, right? Which is going to be very helpful. The damage should be the same, yeah, 360% for the 3-star as well. Same exact thing. So same exact damage wise, and then of course disables recovery skills, which can be helpful especially against Blue King, because he can heal. So very nice to know. Now, if you look at her again, right, if you look at this unit and you see her ultimate, she can be very good because she does a lot of damage from her ultimate, and then she can also take disables attack skills for 2 turns. Same way with the way that Gowther does it, he disables attack skills. Merlin can do it with her ultimate. So yeah, it sucks that it's her ultimate, but at least it can pretty much, you'll get there pretty fast, honestly. Like, you can get her ultimate pretty fast if you move cards around, you're doing freezes and so on. You can take turns away from the enemy. Her ultimate, of course, with Arthur is just going to do more damage. That's it. So really good to know. And then her unique passive increases pierce rate by 10% per each ultimate move gauge orb, right? Increases by an additional 50% if it is completely filled. Assuming, you know, if you're going to use her on like Red Demon, for example, and you plan on doing a lot of damage with her, let's just say, then you would want her ultimates completely up, and you wouldn't use her ultimate. The reason why is because her pierce rate chance will basically go to 100%, and then you're going to be doing a lot of damage. Her pierce rate's only 20%, so obviously she wouldn't be good for that. But she's, like I said, she's really only there for the freeze. So the reason why I put it is because that freeze. Like, she's very, very good. But of course, her counterpart would be Gustav, because Gustav is an SR unit that you can easily use for you know, anything else. So, but I still put her as one of the best red type units, just because a lot of people already have her. So that's why I kept her in here. Now, the next unit, Elizabeth and Hawk. The reason why I'm going to say this is because Elizabeth and Hawk can be very helpful. Right now, this can be like hand to hand. I like Elizabeth and Hawk, but you can also talk about Elizabeth as well. The reason why is because they, of course, are doing 2 different things, but if you're going to talk about in the long run, I would probably say Elizabeth would be in the top 5 for the red type units. But it's a toss-up. But I would probably put this red one a bit more, just because she can disable attack skills, which is really helpful. Like I said, that's going to be very crucial if you do PvP, for example, right? You can use attack skills for that, right? Disable attack skills. Her other thing is she can also heal, right? When she heals at her 2-star or 3-star skill, she can actually give you ultimate gauge orbs, right? So if she can do that, you can basically get your ultimate in the first 2 turns at most, right? Because if you have Merlin, for example, the green Merlin in the back, you have Gowther ranking up, and then you're going to there's just going to be a lot of stuff going on with this that you can just get your ultimate really fast. So she's very good at healing, and she can also disable attack skills. So she can be very good as a support type unit, right? Now, her ultimate only heals, right? She heals for 350%, and then she rejuvenates for 3 turns. Rejuvenate is additional recovery equal to 60% of recovered HP at the start of every turn. So, if you're going to be basically going turn by turn, she's going to heal you back up slowly until the 3 turns are over. So, that's why she's really good. Now, you can keep her, you know, in the 4th slot because of this reason, her passive. Her passive, because it's going to work, and it's very good, right? So, the reason why is because her the allies are healed for 10% of max HP at the start of the next turn when taking damage. So, the more damage you're taking, right, obviously, then you're going to get your healing back whenever the passive goes off, which is going to be every turn, which is good for you because you're going to get your health back pretty slowly but surely. That's basically how it goes. Reason why I say this is because this unit can be very helpful as a support type unit. You can run her on PvP, you can run her in PvE. She can also be good for the new King boss raid that should be coming out sometime soon in Global. So that's why I would put her in the top 5. So out of those would be the top 5s. Now, this is going to be the honorable mentions, right? I, like I said, can't really decide between these 2 just because of how good they are. But if I had to choose, I mean, I'd probably pick this Elizabeth, really, just because she's a really good support type unit, right? Now, Elizabeth and Hawk. Honorable mention now, right? Because when you look at all the characters for the SSRs in Global currently, for the red type units, there's not much, right? But for picking top 5s, there's a good amount to pick out of that. But when we talk about Elizabeth and Hawk, she's really good for damage wise. She's going to do a lot of damage if you're going to be a unit that basically isn't going to take damage, because the reason why is because her unique passive. She basically boosts up her her basic stats by 10% at the start of the next turn, as long as she doesn't take damage, and you can actually stack that. So if you don't get damaged, you're going to basically do a lot of damage from her first attack skill, right? That's her main thing, her first attack skill. The reason why, because charge ignores defense. So if you're going to ignore that, that's actually very, very big. If you're going to be able to ignore defense on anything, if you're going to be playing the Red Demon, for example, you can do that. If you're playing PvP, PvP, I'm not too sure how well she can do, but if you guys know in the comments below, let me know. I'm not too sure how well she would be in PvP, but for this, I mean, her second skill is very good as well, because she can also disable buffs and debuff skills for one turn. So that's gonna be very helpful. Actually, she can disable buffs and debuff skills, so she can basically take away Arthur, because this is a buff, So if she can take away the buffs and debuffs, we're really good. Then her ultimate is going to do a lot of damage, and it cancels stances, right? So let's just say you're fighting Green Meliodas. Green Meliodas' full counter is a stance. You can take that away pretty easily. So I will keep her an honorable mention for that reason. The other unit I would say honorable mention would be this Jericho, the SR one, is because of her passive. Other than that, I don't look at her too much, but her passive increases strength, attribute, allies, attack related stats by 10%. You keep her in the 4th slot, you're going to get a 10% boost for attack every time, So I keep her an honorable mention for that reason. Other than that, nothing too much on her. Red Bond. Now, this was one of the best units to have at the beginning of the story. That's how it goes. This unit's going to be really good for that. You can still use them here and there, but I don't think it's worth using it, but I'll keep him in the honorable mention for this reason. The unit itself takes away ultimate gauge orbs and any kind of skilled rank up he has. Skill 1, 2, or 3. 3 stars, he's going to take away 1 ultimate gauge or 3 ultimate gauge. Very helpful. His second skill is going to assume a stance, right? When he assumes that stance and he takes damage, he heals whatever damage he took, right? And puts it back into his health at the start of the next turn. So he's basically going to be immortal at that point. So very good card to use when you need it. So very good. And his 3-star skill itself can evade. So basically he's immune to damage from attack skills. So he can be very helpful in clutch times. His ultimate can do the same damage, well, not same damage, but more damage, right? But it inflicts charge. What charges that ignores defense. So same way with how Elizabeth and Hawk is with the charge, same way this Bond does. Really good. Then his unique passive is going to increase life steals by 30% when using a skill when the hero's HP is below 50%. So if you have below 50%, you're going to do more life steal, which is going to be really good for you, because life steal is basically going to take away health and puts it back onto you, assuming that you do it properly based on the health. But that is going to be the top 5 SSR, well, I guess they're not SSRs, but they're all kind of top 5 red units in global currently. JP would be different, but for global currently, I want to talk about these units, top 5 for these, honorable mentions in the back, and that's pretty much for the red top 5 units. I'll probably do a green one and a blue one if you guys do want to see that. So if you guys do, let me know in the comments below. Drop a like on this video if you guys do want to see that, and of course subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new. And that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Have a great day.